a lot of people with a chronic illness, they end up exactly at the place what they're most afraid of, like being dependent, weak, miserable, unseen, no friends. It's the journey back to yourself. That's what a chronic illness is. Know that everything that you are looking for is inside of you. Health, a beautiful life, especially at first, it will be overwhelming. And you know what? It's okay to be overwhelming. If you are playing this virtual reality game without being you, then what's the point? You might as well just die. Welcome. It's actually so nice to be able to talk about emotional healing related to chronic illnesses. Like, this is fresh air. This is new. This wasn't like this. When I started doing this 6 years ago, sometimes I'm still afraid of receiving that amount of angry emails every day. So I received a very nice comment in the previous podcast, which is also related to all of this, which is called "Your Body is Demanding Authenticity and Humanness." And I was like, yes, that's a nice thing to say. That's a nice line. And I'm going to make a podcast about it. As you probably know, when you're having a chronic illness, it's my opinion that you've gone too far into suppressing yourself. And you did that in order to fit in. So in order to fit in, you let go of parts of yourself that didn't fit in. So you're actually basically telling to yourself that you're not fitting in order to fit in. And that's like, it's never going to work. Because the more you're trying to fit in, the more messages you give to yourself that you're not fitting in. And you're altering yourself. And who do we have besides ourselves? Like, I really liked seeing this as a virtual reality game. Our soul tried to incarnate here in this video game to go on an experience. Then you are the character and you live somewhere and you speak a language. But who is the one playing? That's you. But then in order to get the other game characters to like you, we abandon ourselves. And then we've nothing left. And then luckily, life has this self-correcting mechanism that when you go too far, you get sick, which is really good. Because we don't want you to become a robot, right? Or do you actually want to become a robot? Like, tell me, if that's what you want, perfect. There are a lot of other channels, self-help stuff, to tell you how to improve yourself, to become more efficient and better and an optimized human being. I think Hitler would be liking that. A superhuman. That's what we want to become. But yeah, luckily stuff doesn't work like that. And we get a chronic illness. It's like the body saying in a different way. I mean, it's a bit weird, but the body is saying more or less like no further. And right now you have to take a step back. It's the journey back to yourself. That's what a chronic illness is. And in order to do that, you've got emotions. So that's where the emotions come in play. These emotions are there to make sure that you are going to create a beautiful life. All the emotions, they all come together as a pack. There are no negative emotions. They all want just one thing, and that is to make you thrive. So if you, for example, do something very dangerous, then, thriving is difficult if you are getting hurt. So then you get fear to go back to something safe, so that you can thrive again. If someone wants to come and take your free will from you or make you a slave, manipulate you, then you are supposed to get angry because it doesn't serve your highest interest in this video game to play for someone else. It's your game and you are the player. So in order to do that, we have our emotions. Listening to these emotions will step by step guide us towards joy. Joy, peace, love, inner silence. These are the consequences of making the right decisions for yourself by listening to yourself. The wisdom comes always from within. And we have more than just wisdom. We have intuition. Intuition tells you immediately what to do. Does it feel right or not? But when you really numb yourself, you can't really listen to it. And part of the release program is to reconnect our clients with their intuition. And in the beginning, this is a little bit weird. For example, when the emotion that is causing a symptom is located, let's say, in the belly, anger, then we ask questions such as, what shape does it have? Just to play with your intuition, you know? And then after that, what object could it be? What color? And then people start noticing, oh, it could be purple. And you know what? It doesn't even matter if it's wrong. It's just the attempt of trying to with your intuition. And then we ask different questions like, how old were you when you first felt that sensation? And then you might immediately get a number inside of your head or a memory of when you were very young. Maybe it's the right memory. Maybe it's the wrong. Maybe it's the right number. Maybe not. It doesn't really matter. No. It's just the first attempts, you know. It doesn't have to be right. Feelings, they speak for themselves anyway. But then you can try to connect with, in this case, the anger. And anger was basically coming up because something else forced you to not live authentically. Maybe you needed to fight. Maybe this is like the unproductive type of anger thing, especially when you have been adding a lot of layers of anger. Every day you've been swallowing. Let's pay my taxes. Let's go to school. Let's be a good citizen. Layer for layer, you suppress it in your body until you no longer feel it. And then at a certain moment, it comes up as uncontrollable anger. So that's why most people think that anger is bad. But anger isn't bad. True anger is only bad for the people that don't like your authenticity, freedom, those kind of things. Because an anger is not, it's like it's a no, but more than that, it's a yes. It's a yes towards yourself. It's the most powerful energy that we have in our body. It's like this is our gift. Without it, we are robots and pets. Pets from who? It's something to think about. So this yes towards what you want is unique. It's about you. But who are you? That's a very good question. Because in a lot of spiritual circles, they downgrade the self to the observer. Then you get to these non-dualistic thoughts and theories. I'm just the observer. Okay, and then what you're going to do? Meditate all day, every day? That's not why you're playing this video game. Like, really, that's not if that's the purpose of this game, to sit still and meditate every day. And I don't say that meditation is bad, but most people are exaggerating it. It's good to become aware of yourself, but there are different ways to do that. You don't need to sit still and be peaceful or something like that. Because most people will use meditation as a way to try to regulate their nervous system without dealing with the exact cause that is dysregulating their nervous system. It's another layer of, let's just breathe and pretend that nothing is all right. And maybe by not engaging with all kinds of extra distraction mechanisms, coping mechanisms, you will actually calm down. But you haven't dealt with the root cause. So when it comes to authenticity, I'd like to talk about the true self, the one playing the video game, a unique soul incarnated here to have an experience. This soul is more than just the observer. It has traits. It has preferences. It has quirkiness. It has desires. Because otherwise you wouldn't be here. And most of these desires and traits and quirkiness are suppressed deep, deep, deep inside of your body. And most of the sadness that we experience are the result of suppressing who we really are. So you can cry sadness. I mean, it's a good sign that you actually still feel sadness, because most people can't feel it anymore. But yeah, it has a reason that you're sad. And crying sadness is not going to resolve the reason why you suppressed your own traits, your own being, or you pushed it away in the sake of belonging. And that's a very childish need, to be honest. We started suppressing ourselves when we were children, when we were still completely open, when our minds were moldable, when everything that someone said had immediately an impact on us. People reprogram themselves, they can program themselves in this theta state of being that little children tend to have until the age of 7, more or less. So most people need to undo that. And listening to a podcast about this is probably a first step. But you will always need to actually do it. The creative part of you, the quirkiness, that's not just something that happens automatically. It's part of anger. Anger is much more than what you probably think. Anger is a creative energy, a powerful energy. Anger is also a sexual energy. And unfortunately, so much harm has been done by the way that people in the Western world express their sexuality. It's much more. It's not just to numb yourself or to feel connected to someone or to feel seen by someone, because those are coping mechanisms. That's why I keep saying people, like, for everything that you're doing, ask yourself, why? And it's okay if you make mistakes. It's okay if you can't access your anger. It's okay if you are having sex with someone just because you want to be seen and to be loved. I'm not saying that that is wrong, because stopping all coping mechanisms all at once is probably too overwhelming. It's okay. But it's good to become aware of this. Like, maybe there is something, maybe there is actually more. Because when you suppress your entire being, maybe in the beginning you're still 99% of yourself and you still feel good, then 98%, eventually 50%. And I think that when you're under 20%, you start developing a chronic illness. And there are people that are so completely numb of their extremely traumatizing experiences that there is nothing left. That they don't really, they're no longer aware of themselves. That's also possible. But if you're having a chronic illness, you're one of the lucky ones, because this planet needs to turn around. We need to go to authenticity. We need to create safety in the body to be able to feel that creative, sexual, powerful energy. And you can feel it inside of your belly, maybe. And it's your job to make this bigger. And what happens is that you will probably develop symptoms. So the brain is conditioned to perceive that as a danger. But there is a force inside of you. And it's going to be overwhelming, especially if you've suppressed this for 30 years or something like that. But you have to go through that. I remember reconnecting with my own anger. It started growing and growing and growing for days or weeks even, maybe months even. And then there was this trigger of someone being passive aggressive to me. And then all the rage came out. I was shaking, sweating. I was getting really hot. Like, it was such an overwhelming amount of anger that I couldn't do anything with it except for sitting with it. And I knew it was a good thing. So when you start to become aware of that energy, try to breathe through it. Try to expand the energy a little bit. Tell yourself especially before you go to bed and when you wake up, when your mind is quiet, when you're in a theta state of being, anger is okay. Anger is okay. And sometimes when I had symptoms, I just did this and the symptoms went away. But then I was like completely charged at the beginning. And a favorite, I forgot the name, but one of a psychotherapist wrote somewhere in a book, I also forgot the book, that he knew that the people were ready when their eyes were looking different, stronger, firm. So instead of those puppy eyes that are looking like this to the world, oh, can you please help me? Can you please love me? You become this powerful being. Stand up for yourself. Straighten your spine. And breathe. Make it bigger. You can practice this firm look in front of the mirror, maybe. Expand it to your entire body. Try to make the belly safe, but you can put your hands on it. Know that everything that you are looking for is inside of you. Health, a beautiful life. If you follow your own choices, you get so powerful. And we are also creators, apart from people who just have to deal with things. But you can't create when your entire body is full with emotions and stuff like that. Because then you are like very tense. You tense your energy. It's not strong. Creation becomes very slow. Plus, you're also thinking a lot about negative things. And you're also creating that. It's like a lot of people with a chronic illness, they end up exactly at the place what they're most afraid of, like being dependent, weak, miserable, unseen, no friends, you name it. Living like a loser on the attic of your parents. That was me as well. But all the solutions are right in the body, in the gut. Can you feel this a little bit? Can you expand it? Can you as well describe what kind of shape it could be? In your mind, maybe? Can you give it a color? And just say the first thing that comes to mind. Can you describe how old you were when you first felt that sensation? Give it a number. And now think about this energy. It's like in the beginning, it's just a no. So when you say out loud, no, 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 can you feel this? Can you feel the power? And if you shut down, if you develop symptoms, then okay, take a step back. You can journal about anger for, let's say, a month or 2 months or 3 months every day for 5 minutes to normalize anger for your brain. And then after that, do something very, very soothing to make sure that you connect anger with that soothing event. Safety, basically. So how old were you when you first felt this sensation? What number comes to mind? And then imagine, even if you've got the wrong number, that this child is inside of your body ever since you were that age. In your belly, probably. Anger is in the gut. And if you were to imagine a younger self of you, maybe you still remember a picture of yourself. In what kind of position could this little child be inside of your body? A very old anger inside of you. So this is not a rational anger. This is primitive. This is pure. Emotions are pure. Breathe through it. And maybe you can sit next to that version of yourself and try to understand this version without judging it. And know that you were the one pushing yourself away. At that moment, there were two versions of you. One kept on living, and one stayed stuck in the body. So this version, if it's angry, it might as well be angry on you. Do you remember what you were angry about? Or what are you angry about right now? Can you say that out loud? With the voice of the little child, the inner child, that the brain perceives as a danger. And it might be normal for you to develop symptoms right now. But know that once you resolve this anger, the brain no longer perceives this as a danger. So you have the choice to go forward or to take a step backward and do more preparation. But if you have been suppressing your true self, your anger, your own integrity, your creativity, your own sexuality, then know that this is not going to be a smooth transition. Especially at first, it will be overwhelming. And you know what? It's okay to be overwhelming. Like, I don't understand. The entire community is like so soft. Like, if you would go to an EMDR specialist, you are going to get an even worse bumpy ride. So we are doing already what we can. And sometimes we also just have to accept that the symptoms that are coming from suppressing anger, that are coming up when you just start to engage with it, are actually not that bad, okay? But I mean, like, who cares? Like, how many years do we need to wait in order to resolve this? How many? Yeah, like, what's so bad about the symptoms? They are already there. They are already destroying your life. So you might as well just increase them to know exactly what is causing it, because then you at least know what to work with. Then you can say goodbye to all these supplements or Reiki therapies or anything like that, because it's something that you can do on your own for free. I mean, Reiki and supplements doesn't have to be bad per se, but spending so much money on everything while you're almost poor and not working, that's not good. So what does the anger want? What does the little child want? Speak this out loud. I want, and use this language. Use the firm eyes. That's how you come to yourself. And I know that's scary in the beginning because you've programmed yourself that it's not okay to feel that way. But you know what? Screw everything that you've learned. If you are playing this virtual reality game without being you, then what's the point? You might as well just die. It's like you're alive, but you aren't really. You are here for yourself. You are here to play the game, the true self, the one with actual desires, not the desires of outrunning your own emotions. And can you imagine giving your inner child exactly what it wants? And breathe through it. Maybe it's attacking you. Maybe it's screaming something to someone else. Maybe it wants to destroy something. Maybe it would be helpful if you start making a sound, like a growl. Or maybe you can push some things. Maybe you can hit something if you don't break your arm. Be the self. Be the true self. Know that this is maybe the first step into creating a beautiful life. Look at it like a stairs. We can see the end destination of the stairs. That's your paradise. That's what you are here for. And right now you're in the basement. So take the first step. And then what's the next step? That will reveal itself over time. But what we know about creativity And sexuality is just a tiny fragment of your possibilities. What you know about yourself is basically just nothing. I'm sorry to say that. I know people are going to get angry in the comments, but that also helps the algorithm into pushing this video. So go for it. Like, sexuality is a lot more. Creativity is a lot more. And you are a lot more. Make it bigger. Make it expand into your entire body. And if you don't feel like it anymore, then you can take a break. And you can do something nice. But eventually, this is going to happen. There's no way back, especially when you started this now. This is going to happen. You are going to heal. Your body wants you to be authentic and humanness. We don't want you to be like a robot or an AI machine. If you are afraid that AI is taking over your job, well, it does take over some creative jobs nowadays. Well, anyway, like, the only way that we can prevent AI from taking over your job is by being really creative. Really creative. And we can do that. That's the big difference between AI and us, between robots and you. I wish you a beautiful healing journey. It's going to be all right. Life is a self-correcting mechanism, and it's working.